Okay, so we have to look at it like this. So I said you have to, from when you look at this person, this model, you're looking at the head first. So we start with the head. All right. So that is the nose, upper lip, upper row of teeth. Okay. So we are starting with the nose, nasal cavity, upper lip, upper row of teeth, roof of the mouth. Okay. Lower lip, chin, and then it goes down. All right. And this is the lower row of teeth. Okay. We are just looking at one tooth here. From this point of view, you can only see one tooth. Don't worry about it. It's the upper row of teeth, the lower row of teeth. And then below just below the lower row of teeth, you have the tongue. Okay. Give me. Okay. All right. So we have here the nasal cavity. So what is this? Mouth is called as, technically it is called as the oral cavity. Okay. Let us first look at the broad categories first, and then let us look at the subcategories. Tongue has also been divided into various parts. So this is the oral cavity. Oral cavity, or if I think, would it be fine if I write it here? The oral cavity. And then we have here, give me 1 second before I draw it. Okay, there we are. All right, and then yeah. So roughly, so this is the oral cavity. Then this is the, can expect it a bit more. Yes, the nasal cavity. Now you may ask, where does the air come from? See, this is where human beings are quite unique. All animals, except human beings, can produce sounds when they are eating. That is a survival mechanism. If they cannot produce sounds when they are eating, they are at a disadvantage. Let us assume that a monkey is having its meal or having something, and it sights a predator, or or a tiger, whatever. It sights danger. How is it going to talk? We usually okay, that is a disadvantage for a human being, but that's an advantage. I mean, that's a disadvantage for a human being, because a human being cannot talk while eating, and the reason is this. That is because our voice box, if we need to talk, our voice box is placed very close to the food pipe. I'll just show you that. Okay, so we come to this part. So the voice box is here. It is placed above the, for you to produce voice, I said it, the air should come out of the lungs. Voice produced and the air vocal cords. So where should it be placed? The vocal cords of the voice box, where should it be placed? Above the lungs. Okay, so it is not directly above the lungs. It is above the. So I will show you this. What is this? What am I showing here? A sort of a pipe, which roughly is called as, which in technical, I'll give the technical term later. In layman's term, is called as the windpipe. Okay, it's called as the windpipe. So what is this? There is another pipe nearby, very close pipe. What is that? That is the food pipe. Okay, the technical terms for these things are, for the windpipe is called as, anybody? Trachea. Trachea. And what is the technical term for food pipe? 8th class biology கேட்டிருக்கீங்க 10th class biology கேட்டிருக்கீங்க 10th class biology கேட்டிருக்கீங்க I am asking you 10th standard biology 11th standard biology food pipe என்னமா சொல்லுவாங்க கண்டுபிடிச்சுப்பாங்க so this sir இங்க நீங்க pipe மாதிரி காட்டலையே sir I am going into the pipe there is a pipe nearby it's the food pipe okay what happens when we are swallowing ஏன் பேசக்கூடாது சாப்பிடும்போது ஏன் பேசக்கூடாது first let us look at breathing first and then let us look at swallowing okay just give me 5 minutes and you'll be okay so what happens is so this branches off into the lungs all right and just roughly please don't laugh just roughly okay the lungs and then it branches off further into bronchioles all right the lungs is a mucus or it's not wet exactly it has a particular the lungs have a particular characteristic one it cannot take in any foreign object immediately we choke immediately we will start coughing and we'll reject it okay two these branch off and become bronchioles alveoli etc okay I'm not getting too much into the anatomy of it now what am I showing here what is this line you can feel it below your lungs you can do it when you go home if you are thin enough of course even I can do that you can below your last rib around your last rib you will feel what is called as the diaphragmal wall there is a wall that separates the thoracic cavity and the stomach and the abdominal cavity the abdominal cavity should not this is a very crucial point you hit someone here or this part gets injured that is the diaphragm gets broken or something like that happens or if the rib goes and touches the diaphragm okay in a different manner I mean when you are driving a car that's why they say wear a seat belt if something happens then the lungs can get punctured or if the diaphragmal wall gets punctured then it's fatal okay so how does the breathing and the expiration inhalation exhalation take place so air comes through the nose all right so this is I'm showing this as an arrow so this part this acts like a wall okay observe this when you are inhaling the air comes this wall this portion goes down okay air goes in from behind the mouth into the windpipe into the lungs and then the process of exhalation begins are you clear in the process of exhalation inhalation inhalation the air in the environment you keep your mouth closed you breathe in air goes into the nasal cavity from behind the mouth this acts as a wall okay I will introduce this later that is this can either close or open I'll show you how it works I know that you are not concentrating okay so not just concentrate here இது ஒரு flat மாதிரி ஆக்ட் பண்ணுங்க I'll show you how just observe your breath I'm inhaling right now so what will happen is this will be in this position okay it will allow the air to go in during exhalation what happens is again then it will close during exhalation again this comes down and then the air goes through now what happens during speech what happens is the lungs pushes the air out of the windpipe through the vocal box and through the mouth and through the nose and we produce sounds okay so the process of inhalation is like this process of exhalation is like this so let us now divide it into regions we call the lungs enna process nu solla very good so this is called as respiratory region very good this is the respiratory region 1 second. No, promotional call. Don't bother. Respiratory region. Now, observe what I do with the air that comes out of the lungs. As the air is coming out of the lungs, I'm explaining the process, okay? Then what I do is I open my mouth and I allow my vocal cords to vibrate. Just observe. So this is, I'm using this, the air that comes out of the mouth, allowing it to pass through the vocal cords. Vocal cords and allowing it to come through the mouth, come out of the mouth. Sir, what happens when you allow the air to come out of your nose? It becomes nasal. Okay, but basically what you do is you allow the air to come, it reaches here. So shall we call this region something? Is it fair enough? Sir, when you say I'm able to hear you. Very good. So voicing region or phonation. So this is called as phonatory region. Voicing is also called as phonation. As of now, you will use it synonymously. So this is another region. I've just produced one phonation create compare. Sir, what happens when you don't when normal breathing? What happens? It just the air comes out. Can you hear breathing? Breathing a disease. It means there is a disease. So we'll talk about that later. Okay, very interesting. The anatomy interesting. So respiratory region, like she said, phonatory region, and here from this point till the lips. Have we named that region? That's region where we produce all the sounds. This is where all the speech sounds are produced. So what can we call it? 6,000 languages of the world produce all the sounds starting with the vocal cords, ending with the lips. This region is called as, can be called as, what will you call this region, Gana? This region can be called as what? We have another 6 minutes. Yeah, what? Very good. Very good. Articulatory region. So respiratory region, phonatory region, or pronunciation region. Okay. Articulatory. Okay. Articulatory region. Now starting with the vocal cords up to the lips, let us start labeling these things, but that we will not do right now. Okay. So what did we learn today? Just a quick revision of what we learned today. I will be continuing with this. Yeah, what did we learn today? We looked at the organs of speech. Yeah, yes, Varshini. Yeah, Varshini. Varshini, tell me. We looked at the organs of speech. We looked at inhalation and exhalation. Just imagine this arrow to be ulta. That is exhalation. Okay. Breathe. You will not know the action of this. Okay. This is the velum. It's called the velum. We'll look at that tomorrow. And we saw that the air that comes out of the lungs through the vocal cords reaches the mouth and becomes sounds. So we have 3 regions: the respiratory region, the phonatory region, and the articulatory region. We'll stop here for today, and then we will look at the mouth and we look at the various parts of the mouth. In fact, we'll be looking very closely at the articulatory region, and we will see what sounds are produced, whether they are consonants or vowels, where are they produced, the action of the tongue, and the action of other parts of the mouth. Okay, we look at the action of the other parts of the mouth. It's going to be very interesting. Okay, and then you should also compare it with what happens in Tamil. Okay, and then we'll see how things go. Okay.